Hey there, Hollywood fans, and welcome to this week's show. As you can see, I'm out here on location. It was Radium, the third round of the GXCCs today, and it delivered the goods. Normally, a big whooped-out sandpit, and this time around, the rains came and found us once again, and that changed the dynamic of this race completely. But we'll go into edit for that this week. Last week, it was all about Farm Jam, and this is what went down at Buxy's. All this Farm Jam racing action is brought to you by Vans Racing in association with Pirelli and Motul, along with VW Mastercars Hatfield, ANCAT Engineering, Stack Ups, and V2 Designs. Farm Jam arrives at the halfway marker of its championship in 2025, round number 3, Buxy's. Ro, I know you're still trying to catch your breath here. You just pre-rode the track this morning. What are we in for? Tell me about the junior loop to start with.
It's the junior loop. It's about 10 k's long. It's quite muddy out there. They're going to have fun. It's quite slippery as well. But it's no big mud bogs, so we don't have a problem there. It's quite flowy as well, so I don't think they're going to have a problem. It's going to be quite fun, yeah.
The big track, obviously the key feature of Farm Jam, Chilean ice cream. Only got one, but I know you originally had like 3 or 4.
Yeah, we had to make some changes yesterday. We had to cut out some of the track, but we actually extended it a bit, with bypassing it. The one chili ice cream is gone. We've got one left, still a challenge. But yeah, that's what we had to do.
Morning race. Let's go catch up with some juniors and our ladies. Dude, you have had an amazing season so far. What are you expecting today? Because it's going to be greasy.
I think it's going to be good. I'm hoping for the best, so I'll just hope for the win.
You seem to be up against a lot of the KTM and the Huskies. Shout out for the Yamaha. She's running good?
Yeah, she's running very well. I like it.
Tell me about the wet weather setup, because we know it's going to be very tricky to find traction today.
Yes, I just put a new tire on and hope for the best.
Brother, you seem to be coming to life in the Farm Jam series this year. Tell me about this today, because it's going to be greasy.
Yeah, today is going to be a tough day, but the bike's good. Everything should be good.
I know your dad's listening. What's the setup on today? You going a little bit softer on the suspension or what?
A little bit soft on the suspension, and the tires super soft. New suspensions, kits, the K-Tex. Should be good.
Dude, amazing season so far. What's been the difference this season?
It's just very nice. I feel more comfortable on the bike. Yeah, it's going good though.
You seem to have a good setup on the bike as well. What do you think about this track? Did you ride it last year? It was the final round last year.
No, I didn't come to this one. Couldn't make it, yeah.
What about mud setup? Because we know it's going to be greasy today.
Yo, it's not going to be nice, but it will be fine. Just going to use nice goggles. Yeah, it will be good.
Zoria, great to see you back on the gate. Tell me where you've been for the last year.
I was in America working there for a year. Yeah.
And then the bike, obviously, it looks like your old bike, but it's not, is it?
No, it's the new FX250.
And I know the story to this, so how old is she?
Me?
No, how old is the bike?
Oh, like 5 days.
So straight off the plane and into the Farm Jams. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And take him to the gate. The morning session, as always, For the ladies on the Pro 85s, going to go open up the big track, and for the juniors, they'd be taking on the 10K. Everyone was holding their breath, trying to understand what was around the corner and what the day would hold, because we knew the word of the day was moist. First gate drop would be the Pro 85s. Small numbers coming onto the gate for round number 3. Championship points leader Kia Kutsia out with a small injury, leaving Morgan Daly, Gabby Daly, and Johan Smit to go and fight out for their positions. For the ladies' gate, huge numbers coming in once again. Bianca Edwards went down in a blaze of glory as the ladies got a little bit choked coming out of the gate. Nikita Frampton got the whole shot as the rest of the ladies followed her out onto the big course. For the junior 85s, always going to be one of the most competitive gates out there, and we're starting to see some new big swingers coming into play. Dalton Powell gets his first hole shot of the season ahead of John Luke and Zach Stubbs. For the 65 pros, Riley Skippers on the gas chasing down the yammy of Julian Vanderberg. Then on to our junior 65s. Klein Shane Nienober dropping the hammer hard for VW Mastercars Hatfield. A powerhouse gate for him as he chased off the front in the early lap. And then back onto the 50cc gate. What a story the 50cc gate has been in 2025. Huge numbers. And it was the same story here at round number 3 as Milan Roux led the chasing pack. We chatted to Rowan about the morning track.
It's the junior loop. It's about 10 k's long. It's quite muddy out there. They're going to have fun. It's quite slippery as well. But it's no big mud box, so we don't have a problem there. It's quite flowy as well, so I don't think they're going to have a problem. It's going to be quite fun, yeah.
Lap number 1 would get all of the juniors, ladies, and the Pro 85s into their groove to understand how the track was going to unfold. Once again, massive numbers coming in from our 50cc racers. Stella De Siena, in her overalls, one of the superstars of the previous round, broke herself into the top 6, beating out on Victor van der Walt and Nicole Janssen van Rensburg. Ahead of her on the Vans Racing squad, Marcel Paxton starting to make a name for himself. And the championship contender, Blake Kruger, on the Bikers Warehouse Husqvarna, did a good job this time around. 4 laps under his belt. 4th place on the championship points tally. Ahead of him, Lucas Irwin found the conditions absolutely dialed in for him on his Husqvarna as he walked away with his highest finish of the season with a number 3 spot. Rourke Elmark, who said his name a couple of times this season so far, 5 laps under his belt and 2 hours and 3 minutes in the saddle, showing his form and skill level out there. The older Roux brother, Milan Roux, doing an incredible job. Looks like he's going to be moving up in the championship standings coming out of this round. 2 rounds to go, and Milan Roux has been near on unstoppable the last couple of rounds. In the junior 65s, JC Buerta and Jordan Daly in the mix nice and early on. They were fighting it out to see if they could break inside of that top 3. JC Buerta eventually dropping back down to a number 5 with just 1 lap under his belt. Jordan Daly climbed up the ladder into a number 3. Klein Shane Nienober, after that impressive hole shot, eventually dropped down to a number 4 finish. It was so easy to spot him out there on the trails with that bright orange aero helmet. Looked like he was having a good time out there, but had some issues on his machine, dropping him back and out of the top 3 hunt. Jordan Daly also had some issues on his machine, but it was good enough to get 3 laps under his belt, and it was 3 for 3 for Jordan Daly, 3rd place in the junior 65s. Up the road from him, Janko Rautenbach, 3 laps as well, and he put a little bit of a hurt on Jordan Daly to get himself into a number 2 spot. And Benjamin Mahalik, he has been the dominant force in the junior 65s at the FJs in 2025. The only rider to go on a 4-lap count and take another big win. In the 85 juniors, the most competitive junior category at the moment, as everyone was trying to get their numbers inside the top 6. Luca Merchant, even with a fallover, was good enough for a number 6 ride, with Marcus Endres into a number 5. 1 or 2 issues on the course for the juniors, but they did figure it out come the end of play. And we're able to burn up some good laps. The whole shotter, Dalton Powell, eventually dropped down to number 4 with Andre Skierpers on a 5-lap count, getting himself into a great battle to climb the ladder into the 3 spot. The 2-horse race on the track is the 2-horse race in the championship. Jean-Luc van der Westhuizen eating roost off the back tyre of Zack Attack Stubbs the whole way through the day. Around about halfway through the morning session, Stubby pulled the pin, dropping Jean-Luc down to a 2 spot. 5 laps under the belt for van der Westhuizen, and Stubby brought it home for another big win. Stubby, this championship is a wild one. Tell me about your day.
I rode really well. I fell at the start and me and Johnny were like neck and neck, but then towards like the 3rd lap, then I just pulled away.
Tell me about the day though. Did the track hold together, or what was the difference between the first lap and the last lap?
The first lap wasn't as rutty, but at the end it started to get a lot more rutty.
How are you feeling about the championship? You've got 2 rounds to go, and yeah, you got this one.
I'm feeling really good. I just have to keep it like this and then at the end it'll just be good.
Het was net, die eerste lap was lekker en toe die tweede lap, toe was daar modder en die modder het geloop, die klippe was nat. So dit was lekker eerste lap en toe die tweede lap het ons almal net begin val en agtergeraak van die modder en alles. Maar ja, die rest van die dag is baie lekker.
Let's get those numbers on a page and confirm the results. 85 juniors, Zack Stubbs, Jean-Luc van der Westhuizen. That is the championship fight at the moment, swinging the way of Stubby. Skierpers, Powell and Andres took us to our top 5. 65cc juniors, Mahalik got a stranglehold on this championship as he hammers another win ahead of Rattenbach, Daly, Nienober, Buerta and van der Westhuizen. And in the 50cc's, Milan Roux also starting to really dominate the category. 50cc's beating out on Almark, Irwin, Kruger, Paxton and De Siena. Let's go back out on the track and climb those ladders. Pro category races, 65cc pros, 4 riders out there getting the job done. Robert Bryan Stradum, just 1 lap under his belt for a number 4 finish. Running inside the top 2 in the early laps, Riley Skierpers able to hang on to that number 3 spot. Couldn't get on the back wheel of Seb Nel though. Seb was dangerously close to taking the win, eventually falling back in the later laps though to settle into 2nd place. And Julian van der Berg, 4 laps under his belt and a dominant win once again in the Pro 65s. The Yamaha man off the front. 85cc pros, just the 3 riders out there getting the job done, opening up the course on the big loop. That was the big 16K'er. Morgan Daly down to a number 3. Gabriel Daly, great pull off the line to get himself into the number 2 spot at the end of the day. 2 laps under their belt for the Daly boys. And then Johan Smit walked away with 3 laps under his belt and the outright win. Good laps. The Pro 85s on the big course. All that's left now is to climb the ladder with the ladies. Once again, great numbers coming in. We're averaging around about 10 ladies on the queue every single time. Franska Talma was in 8th place. Taylor Mitchell in 7th. Nikita Frampton dropped down to a number 6, but she's still in a good position for the championship. Bianca Edwards managed to scrape herself off the ground at turn number 1 and climb the ladder to a number 5. Maddie Gowdy was good enough to stay out of trouble as well, putting 10 minutes into Bianca Edwards to cement a number 4 ride for her. Vonda Mo, great, consistent, solid rides for Mo into a number 3 ride with Taylor Frampton up the road to a number 2 spot. Taylor, very solid and consistent this season. Watch out for her to try and dominate the number 1 plate, but it's a return to form for a former FJ racing superstar, Zaria Farid, straight off the red eye from the USA and back to Farm Jam Racing and back to the top step. Maddie, you've got a story to tell. Tell me how the morning went.
I took a nice swim today. That was great. My whole bike submerged underneath the water. I couldn't see anything. I thought I was going to drown. My bike and myself. It was great. And the whole track just turned into a little waterfall on its own. It was an interesting experience, to say the least. I thought I was going to drown the whole entire time.
Tay, I didn't lie when I told you the briefing, eh?
No, you didn't. I went through the water because I didn't hear. So I was like, okay, this water looks shallow, and almost drowned as well. It became a water park, Maddie. But it was a learning experience. I definitely struggled a lot, but I'm going to think back on it. I'm going to be like, I should have done this instead. But yeah, I enjoyed it in my own ways.
Let's get those numbers down. Zarya takes the ladies' win for the first time in 2025 to throw her name into the hat. Taylor Frampton, though, solid on the championship. Second place for her on the day, ahead of Mo, Gowdy and Edwards. In the 85 Pros, it was Johan Smits who beat out the Daily boys. Gab in second and Morgan in the 3 spot. Commiserations to Geir Kutsia, no show due to injury. And then in the 65cc Pros, Julian van der Berg takes the Yamaha to the top step, with Seb Nell in the 2 spot. Riley Skierpers beating out Robert Brian Stratham for the final podium position. That's the morning session done and dusted. Before we go into the afternoon race, let's go check in with our good friends up at VW Mastercars Hatfield.
Hola bafowethu, looking for a great deal on a quality used cars? Welcome to Headful VW Mastercars. We have a variety of cars from bakkies to hatchbacks. Every vehicle is checked for quality and performance, and we offer easy financing budget for everybody. Visit us today at Headful VW Mastercars Pretoria and drive home with your next car for less.
It's the afternoon session, so we head up the hill to the top end of Buxy's Bar and Grill to take on the start chute. Man, this is going to be a wild one. We chatted to all the players down into the pits before we drop the flag for the afternoon session. Juice, here we go again, another banger season. Have you got a whole shot for us today?
Yeah, no, that's on the cards always. I tried to get away in front and then just play it from there. So yeah, it's definitely on the cards.
The rest of the guys have been hunting you down this year, though, eh?
Heavily. The blood's gonna flow because currently we're only on our 3rd event, and I think the first 5 guys are, they're together on points, even up to 7th. So you can't slip up. So my strategy is just to keep it clean today. I think it's gonna be a slow race, so I'm just gonna keep it together.
Kochi, it's the end of April and it's still moist.
Jeez, I think this started maybe October or November last year. It's crazy, but I guess we need the rain, but just not this much. I'd be happy if some of it went away now. It'd be great just to get some sunshine again. I'd actually look forward to a dust race.
It's going to be a gnarly championship though, as well, because the seniors gate as always.
Yeah, geez, man, it's. I didn't think it was going to be this tough. This was supposed to be the fun round, but yeah, no, this has become just as tight as all the other racing. Just glad to be here again. Well done to Vans Racing for putting it together. I know they must have done lots of work to try and sort this out after that rain on Thursday. So yeah, well done to them. Thanks again for bringing us out here to this beautiful venue and having a good time out on track.
Alru, good run of form this season. How are you feeling about this one?
I'm feeling good. Weather and everything's kind of in my direction, and I heard some good stuff about the track, and I think it's going to be a good race for me this year, or this round.
You've been good on the tech riding last weekend out of the Nationals. I mean, you must feel pretty busted from that.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, the kind of stuff they put us on there is next level, but it's good prep for this, so yeah.
Matty, here we go. Another smile on your face, another farm jam, and yet another wet race.
Yeah, we can't get away from these mudders this year, but no, excited to be here. Never been to this venue before. I've spectated before last year or the year before when I was a bit injured, so looks like it's going to be a good day out. I'm excited for some rocks.
Now that you've kind of figured out the setup for farm jam, do you tweak anything on the bike coming for this one?
I put my Enduro suspension in. I took my off-road suspension out, put the Enduro suspension in just for a little bit of a softer feel. But otherwise, no, just put a bit of a different back tire on and ready to go.
Everyone by this stage of the season in 2025 knows exactly how to set their bikes up for slightly moist conditions, especially the guys going off the pro gates. S1, 2 and 3 would be the first to see the flags. S1 Pros. Wilson would be the outright favourite after taking the win at round number 2. He got the cheese and pulled off the whole shot. Alru van der Veste is not on his wheel with Ruben Peters swinging off the back. S2 Pros, Gav Young gets the cheese, Brennan Kotzer there with him, and Werner Nordia Veries goes down. S3 Pros, Stian van der Heever loose as a goose as he goes out front just ahead of Stubby. For the seniors, Kochi didn't get the gate that he wanted to. That whole shot honour went to Vernon Lowe. He absolutely dominated Kochi. Got those elbows out though and got up onto his wheel early on. Into the Masters gate, the multiple FJ and National Enduro champion. Captain Kirk on the gas was up there banging hard. He would see clear air. And in the Grandmasters, an absolutely huge gate coming in for the Grandmasters. And Stassen delivered on his promise of getting the whole shot. And then into the amateur and novice gates, we had huge numbers coming in, especially on our Easter weekend. And we had to celebrate that. They all managed to get out onto the course and they were holding their breath to see what the track would hold for them. Wild gates in the afternoon session. We chatted to Rowan again about the afternoon race. Ro, on Easter weekend, always good to see some good numbers coming in. Just over 200, you've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, it's quite a surprise. It's looking so good. But yeah, we're glad, we're very grateful. But yeah, the guys are going to have fun.
For the afternoon loop, what are we expecting? Is the track going to hold up? Because when I pre-rode it, there's some interesting sections.
Yeah, just after the start, there's we call it the animal farm. The guys are going through there. Then the 50s are going to split off. They've got a 5K loop. And then the guys are going down a mountain, new pass going down. And then we call it the N12 going up and over the mountain. That's where they're going to eat the chili and ice cream as well. And then just flow it back to the track, to the pits.
So let's go out onto the course. We've raced here 3 times. This was going to be an interesting one. The first time that we'd seen a little bit of moisture come up at the tail end of this never-ending wet season. On the greenies, we had great numbers. This was the last gate to go out in the afternoon session, racing on the 10-kilometer junior loop. Xander McLaren was there in a number 6, just ahead of Tivan Klaassen, and then breaking into a top 4 of Bayleveld. Did a good job of work out there. The junior track definitely taking some hits in the afternoon session. Third place going to Lawrence Skippers. He actually did a very good job of work out there. 1 hour 47 minutes under his belt. Just losing out on eventual second place to Angelique Lindeque. Second place beating out on the Skippers run in third by just over 30 seconds. Very good run for the 146. And then Ethan Collette, an amazing story. One of the oldest bikes, if not the oldest bike on the gate in the afternoon session. The old Kawasaki KDX got it done and got the win. Oh, that's the green Meanies done, and we move forward then into our novice categories. Dylan Duffy, 2 laps under his belt, 1 hour 51 in the saddle for a number 6 ride. That's good numbers on the page. We saw a lot of riders really battle with the conditions out here at Buxy's. Fernando Lage was up there in a number 5 with Chris Harmser Jr. doing a great job of work. He actually found his dad out there in the course and was able to get a number 4 finish under his belt. Young Chris actually becoming quite tasty in these kind of conditions. Alexander Fasaki up there into a number 3 ride. Himself and Rowan Kruger were all over each other. Eventually, Kruger just beating out Fasaki by a slender 1 minute at the end of their event of racing. But it was Camden Geyser who once again climbed all the way to the tippy top. That's going to set him up nicely for his challenge for a number 1 plate with just 2 rounds to go. Up the road as we carry on our progress through the S2 novice gates, Adrian Chamberlain got the whole shot and his highest FJ placing of the season with a number 3 ride, a standout result for him on the Rad KTM. Martin Els was just ahead of him in a number 2 spot with 4 laps on his belt, with Henry Jans van Rensburg also on 4 laps taking the win. In the S1 novice big banger category, one of our biggest gates of the afternoon session, Jakes Van Dyke, 3 laps for him, chasing down onto the back wheel of Derek Marchand. Those guys were on the 3-lapper. The guys inside the top 4 were on the lead lap for this category, all of them tagging a 4-lap count, which meant they were running around about a 2-hour marker. Raiden Almark into a number 4. He had a pretty clean run, no real big issues for him. Could not get onto the back wheel of Joshua Murphy, who put around about 5 minutes into Almark come the end of the event. Up the road from those two were the class of the field, the guys that broke underneath the 2-hour marker. Krubus van Krayenberg, 1 hour 59 minutes and 35 seconds in the saddle, and his highest position of the season as well, taking a 2nd place ride. And then Cole Smith on the CF Moto got himself up there into a big number 1 plate, the 93. Really found conditions perfectly suited to himself and the CF Moto. Brother, we're doing a lap of the pits. Tell me about your day.
Oh no, it's been awesome. Very wet. Obviously the main loop was a bit crazy, but I had awesome fun with the latte out here this morning, so it's been an awesome day out.
Try and sum up what it feels like to be out here at Farm Jam.
Oh, with him enjoying this out here in the middle of the bush with no worries or anything, no, it's awesome. Unbelievable. You can't put words to it.
The first lap wasn't too. It was actually the baddest. Was the first lap. It was there in the mountains. Everyone bottlenecked there. Sure, couldn't come through there. But the second lap when they closed it, now smooth sailing from there. The mud was a little bit too much, but yeah, we'll come back again. Hopefully improves.
G'day, how you guys doing? Yeah, no, today was quite a tough one. Yeah, the pre-chili ice cream split was a bit of a gnar section. You know, a lot of guys getting stuck before they even got up to the split. But yeah, I think Kevin and myself over here, we had a good time. Helped quite a few people out. And yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to Leon and his team and Ryan. You know, they helped us out a bit where we got a bit stuck. There was a good couple of guys out there making it still fun for the rest of the guys who were struggling. No, it was an awesome day. Thanks, man.
Ja nee, dit was nie 'n bad race nie. Dit was nogal baie moeilik. Dit was baie modderig en soos baie gegly, baie vasgesit. En ja, verder was dit fyn, baie styf. En ja, was nie 'n bad race, dit 'n bad track nie, maar ja, sou dit verseker weer doen. Dit kom weer. Dit kom definitief weer.
So let's just remind ourselves of the results in the novice categories. S1's Cole Smith on the CF Moto gets his best result of the season ahead of Van Kranenburg, Murphy, Olmark and Marchand. S1 novice category becoming very interesting in the championship. S2 novice, Henry Jens van Rensburg, Martin Els and Adrian Chamberlain bangs home his number 3 ride ahead of Bahrain and Van Sale. In the S3 novice category, Camden Geyser standout ride on the day, hammering the nail on the competition, beating out on Kruger Fasaki, Chris Holmser Jr. in the 4 spots and Lage into a number 5. And then the Mean Greenies, we had a green machine on the top step, Ethan Collette and the unstoppable KDX 250 beats out on Lindeque, Skippers, Baylorfelds and McLaren. Next up, we go into our amateur categories. Let's go out onto the course and climb those ladders. S3 amateurs, Caleb van der Vesthuizen making a name for himself out here at the FJs. On the World Sports Betting Yamaha ride, another Yamaha rider, Junior Christie, starting to find his groove at the FJs as well. 5th place, he'll have been hoping to break into the top 3, but had some small issues on the day that held him back. Dion Jacobs into a number 4 ride. All these riders on a 4-lap count, by the way, so they did squeak inside of the 2-hour marker. Milan van Kirk on the 222 was there into a number 3 spot. 1 hour 50, almost perfect numbers coming in for him. One of his best rides of the season as well, with Rickers Annandale. Obviously went out the front door, lost the peak on the Just One helmet there. Didn't seem to slow him down though. A lot of the riders going goggleless as the conditions started to get a little bit steamy and sticky. Annandale, best of the rest in a number 2 spot on 4 laps counted, and the only rider on the S3 amateur gate to get 5 laps under his belt, Bruno Niebuhr for Rubin Racing. In his comeback season, hammering the nail, really looking dialed in on the FJ style of track. The S2 amateur gate gave us Bert Moe into a number 6 ride, beating out on Cameron Heenan and Dion van Stad down to a number 7 and 8 respectively, and up the road from Moe into a number 5 was Calvin Chambril getting it done on the 77 machine. Very, very close numbers to break their way inside of the top 5. Tristan Borges likes things a little bit faster, got hung up in 1 or 2 of the tech zones, and that slowed his roll. Still, 4th place will keep him in the championship hunt. MJ Bester fared a little bit better, the first of the riders to get onto a 5-lap count on the S2 amateur category, trying to get onto the back wheel of Mike Irwin in 2nd place. Irwin bested out Bester by the tune of just over 3 minutes. So Irwin was solid, consistent, and butter smooth the whole way through the day. The only thing is, there was one man a little bit better, Franz Berger. He's got a stranglehold on this gate at the moment. The Yamaha man put 1 hour 57 on the blue machine to get onto the top step once again. Into the S1 amateurs then, the big bangers, and an absolutely enormous gate, biggest gate of the afternoon session. Frans de Klerk, the big Viking, down in 7th with Ethan Peltzer just behind him. That meant that we saw some different players climbing the ladder. Leonard Merchant into a number 6, Robert Chester number 5, and Jacques Van Niekerk into a number 4 ride. And then the guys that were up the road, Alessi De Siena into a number 5. Great to have Alessi back rocking it out there with us. Loves this style of riding at the FJs. His good buddy Luke Battersby was just up the road from him. Those two riders separated by around about a minute. So they found each other on a couple of tours this season so far. De Siena in a number 3 spot, Battersby in a number 2 spot. And then it was Luca De Siena coming back into the racing fold. It's been a long time since we've seen him racing on the FJ Tour. And Luca De Siena, for the first time of asking, came back and banged the big win.
Hallo, nee, yes, kyk, hierdie was nie 'n dag nie. Dit was nou 'n vetpret geweest. Kyk, modder. Ons is nou oor modder hoor. Maar modder in 'n klip is nie 'n chommie nie. Maar nee, was baie lekker geweest. Glip en gly hierso, daarso. So nee, jy moet maar vashou. Voel die rug is bietjie seer, die ribbes is seer, die tone is seer. Maar nee, ek dink vanaand slaap ons lekker. Maar dankie Leon. Great track. Jammer vir die modder, maar anders great. Dankie.
Interessante ene gewees. Die eerste lap wat ons gery het en goeders was bietjie hektiek, maar hier van toe ons ritme en goed gekry het, hier van lap nommer 12 het dit bietjie beter gegaan. Ek dink ek het nou op hier goed gekyk. Ons het daarom met 'n derde plek weggekom. Ek het gedink ons gaan 12 tot 14de eindig. Ons het daarom alright gedoen vir die dag. Dankie, dit was 'n lekker event geweest. Ons sal definitief weer hierso wees die volgende keer. Dankie julle.
Brother, Farm Jam, a little wild one. Tell me about your day.
Oh, the first lap was hectic. Going up that hill first thing, I felt like giving up. Yeah, there's so many guys that got stuck there and it was just hectic.
And then after that?
After that, I was so tired and the track was just getting worse and worse every lap. Yeah, it did get better. The track just got more, I don't know where all that water was coming from and but I enjoyed it, it was very fun.
Bietjie modderig was, maar anders was dit lekker. Ja, die flat tracks was nogal lastig te staan. Maar ja, as jy mense voor jou vas het, is dit maar 'n bietjie rof. Maar sukkel jy maar.
I have to say, completely epic ride. Very muddy, very slippery, but we had a lot of fun down to the tee. I enjoyed chasing my brother. Frans passed me a few times, so it was a lot of fun between the three of us.
No. It was just sad that they took out the technical part, but otherwise the race was great. Thanks.
Well, no. So the technical part broke me. I was man down, but I made it 3 laps and it was an awesome day with awesome friends and everybody. So yeah, awesome. Thanks, man.
Such good reactions in the pits. Something about racing in the mud brings out the little kid in you. The best of the little kids in the S1 Amateurs. Luca De Siena gets the win ahead of Luke Battersby and Alessi De Siena into a number 3 spot. Great racing in the S1 Amateurs. S2 AMS gives us Frans Berger on the top step, taking the Yami to the win once again, ahead of Erwin Bester, Borges and Chambriel. Brilliant numbers again on the amateur gates, giving us our biggest entries of the afternoon session. And Bruno Niebuhr for Rubine Racing on the top step, ahead of Annandale, Van Niekerk, Jacobs and Christie. That championship fight for the amateur gates has only just begun. Next up, age group category races. Man, these guys have been putting on a great show for us so far in the championship in 2025. Troy Krokamp just missed out on getting onto the big numbers. This time it was return to form for number 5 rider, Evan Howell. Howell back onto his number 1 machine, back onto his gas, and banging bars with his good buddies out there. Loads of beaters back on the track in 2025. Conrad Edwards, often the best of those machines. This time around got beaten out by David Liebenberg, but the 2 gas riders were running 3 and 4 all the way through the day, setting the track alight, but separated come the end of play by around about 10 minutes. Standout ride for Dave Liebenberg, just beating out on Edwards. Marty Poole, the silent assassin, always flying under the radar, taking the Shimwell's Racing Fantic to a number 2 ride, just kept his nose clean and stayed out of trouble. And it was fantastic to welcome, and the first time in a long time, onto the FJ Tour in 2025, Tony Delata onto the gate and straight to the top of the charts. Into our Masters category races, Theo Van Strape into a number 7 and Gavin Russ into a number 8. That meant that Leonard Holmes was a number 6 and little Bronson Engelbrecht. A tough day in the saddle for those little legs, but he kept it pumping and kept the hammer down. He's looking on point for a top 5 in the championship this season. Otto Hollacher, in his first full season of FJ racing, starting to understand the flow and the style of riding in second and third gear all day long. He was a number 4 ride, with Danny Heenan putting in his best ride of the season to a number 3. Sean Mitchell, another one of the CF Moto squad, got his 911 machine into a number 2 spot. For Mitchell and Heenan, that would be their best rides of the season. We'll see those lads start to climb the ladder in the championship. But there's no beating or fighting against the thunder that is Captain Sean Kirk on the fast gas machine. Yet another big win, and the outright leader in the championship now going into the final 2 rounds of the season. The seniors were wild, and the top guys in the seniors were running inside the top 10 overall, showing how deep the talent pool is on this gate. Bosman and Rautenbach just outside of the big show, 6th place going to Mornay Frampton, with Fergalicious, Fergie McAdam on the Bikers Warehouse Husky into a number 5. He really is one of those diesel engine riders, always inside of the big numbers. Francois Murphy, one of his best rides of the season here at round number 3, gives him a number 4 finish with Nicholas Morgan. Watch out for Nicholas Morgan. He really is bringing home those rides every single weekend. Should see him be able to fight and remain in that top 3 for the championship. But the top 2 riders were head and shoulders above the rest of the riders. Vernon Lowe on the Roost Racing KTM got the whole shot, eventually slotted down into a number 2 spot, eventually finishing just 3 minutes off the back wheel of Kochi. Those 2 riders broke into the top 10 in the pro times as well, but it was Marco Kochi who now stands on the top step, taking the big win in seniors and 6 overall. Kochi, the bag of energy that is just coming in. What a banger ride.
Man, it was fantastic. Thank you very much. I mean, it was incredible out there. Well done to Leon, Rowan, the team from Vans. I mean, Ulrika, Melissa. It's been absolutely fantastic. The first lap with that mountain pass was epic. That pass was proper.
There's no grip up there.
There's 0 grip. It was just pure. It was flying through there. But beautiful. And then obviously I think it chewed up too much after the first lap. And within minutes, man, Leon had sorted it out, changed the route. And then it became an Enduro GP. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, the track held out. It was beautiful. It was tech enough. It was just an Enduro GP. It was fantastic. So all I can say is thank you. It was brilliant. I mean, Zach, Tyler, Sean, everyone from Schimmel's been an absolute standout today. And yeah, beautiful. My beautiful little motorbike got me all the way to the end. It's wonderful.
Bronzy, you got a ton of Farm Jam experience. Tell me how today shaped up.
Matt, it was one of the toughest. It was so muddy, it's wet. You were left and right, you were all over the show, but it was fun as always. Farm Jam's always fun. Hats up to Leon and the guys. Farm Jam's definitely the race to be at.
Dit was lekker, bietjie modderig, maar
baie lekker. Is dit jammer dat die tegniese deel uitgesny
het? Ja.
Sit jy dit was die lekkerste deel van die koers, ja.
Ja, die chili deel was baie lekker grip gekry daar, maar jammer dat hulle hom uitgesny het.
Maar anders was dit 'n awesome dag geweest, weer eens Farm Jam met gedeliver.
Ja. Sal jy terugkom?
Verseker, volgende jaar weer.
Farm Jam.
Farm Jam.
Today was amazing, guys. The mud was a jewel. Lot of competition, lot of uphills, lot of downhills, and probably about 10 wipeouts. It was one of the best Farm Jams I've been to so far.
Brother, you were one of the late gates to go out there. Looks like you found some mad traffic.
Crazy, but always fun. Just on some of the hills, the rocks, bottlenecks, but fantastic. Otherwise, great.
The conditions as well. I mean, the guys did a good job closing out that one section so that we could keep racing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I ride that goggles. Conditions are perfect. No mud, no dust. Just great. Fantastic.
Marty, you know what's what of these Farm Jams? How does this one fare?
This one was good fun. I mean, very, very muddy. First lap, there was carnage. People were all over the place. I mean, I think unless you're a really good rider, you were riding like a beginner. I was more like a beginner than a rider. But from then on, it was good.
Yeah.
You just had to concentrate the whole way.
Good call when they cut out the mountain?
Very much so. I think the guys would be... I mean, on the first lap, they were already struggling. I'd hate to see from then on. I just took a line, bang, 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 and then banged my disc. And then from then on, just rode steady Eddie at the end of the day.
Tell me about the wagon. The Fantic's still rocking?
Fantic's still going awesome. Yeah, the Fantic's not the problem's aboard the Fantic. But really well organised. Shout out to all the organisers. You know, the guys come here and this is good fun at the end of the day. You know, you're not riding in tons of dust and well marked, not dangerous. Lots of crashes, but slow crashes at the end of the day.
Guys, we're definitely loving those conditions. Seniors then. Kochi with the big win in seniors and 6th place overall. Worth the second mention, I think. Vernon Lowe in second ahead of Morgan, Murphy, McCadden, Frampton, Bosman and Rautenbach. In the Masters, it's Captain Sean Kirk on the top step once again, with Mitchell not far off his back wheel actually. They kept Kirky honest. Heenan, Horlacher, Engelbrecht, Holmes, Van Straep and Roos. And then in the Grandmasters, a new winner on the tour, which will change up the championship challenge. Tony Delata takes his first win of the season ahead of Moddy Poole, Liebenberg, Edwards, Howell, Crocamp, Battersby and Thompson. Hang in tight. We head to the pro gates now. The track was definitely a challenge out here at Buxy's, but the event coordinators did an amazing job to hold the event together so we could keep on trucking and keep on racing. One of the guys missing in the championship challenge was Justin Roman, no show here at round number 3, which meant the top 5 were going to be looking slightly different. Number 5 spot on the day with just 1 lap scored and counted was Hansie van der Berg, leaving Ben van Schalkwyk and Paulus van der Kerk to be all over each other. Some new guys up the road as well as we start to see the championship come to a head. Stubbs is fast and consistent. 2nd place this time around will keep him in that championship challenge. He's looking for that big number 1 plate. But on the day and in the conditions, it was the whole shotter. Stian van der Heever, a former multiple 85cc pro champion, who's starting to find his way forward into the big pro categories. The best riding we've seen out of this kid this year, and he definitely came to life in these gnarly conditions. Van der Heever took his first win of the season. S2 Pro category, crashing out off the whole shot. Very's Nordia was up into a number 5. He was the final finisher on the S2 Pro gate. Brendan Kutzer just didn't seem to gel with the conditions as he did at rounds 1 and 2, but 4th place will still keep him fighting for that championship. Up the road from him was the more technical riding styles of Ruan Opperman, Gav Young and Language. Those guys were very close and evenly matched, especially in the early laps. Young getting 2nd place on the Bikers Warehouse Husky, just eventually beating out on Opperman by less than 25 seconds. So that was a very close battle for the number 2 spot. But it was a back-to-back win for Raymond Language on the Rad KTM. Since he got onto the bigger weapon this season, now up onto a 250, it has been Raymond Language large and in charge as he now leads that championship. And in the S1 Pro category, the big bangers, Wolfgang Horlacher was up into a number 7 with Matt Battersby to a number 6. Alru van der Westhuizen losing brakes in lap number 1 after an incredible hole shot saw him into a number 2 position early on in the race. He would just have to tough it out and survive, and that was kind of the story of the day, surviving the conditions and whatever anything threw at you. Peters suffered a similar fate as well, losing brakes on lap 1 and 2, so he was really battling in the more tech zones. Dev Smith and Kurbis Bester both going down a couple of times during the race, but they found each other out there on the track, and eventually Bester did get the beating of the Devastator, but they were so close all the way through the afternoon session. Crashes left, right and center, and eventually the number 2 spot did go to Bester with the advantage of just under a minute. But it was Matty Wilson who hammered the nail on the field. No real big mistakes for Wilson, who now goes 2 for 2. An outright win and category win at round number 2, and he backs it up with another win at round number 3. Wilson on fire at the FJs. Matty, I'm thinking you're enjoying these FJs, eh?
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying the 300 and the farm jams a lot. So the sound of the 2 smoker is just too nice.
Tell me about conditions out there. Obviously wild.
Yeah, I'm glad I got the whole show because I mean, yes, it was proper single track today. First lap I had to try get in my groove. I had quite a bit of arm pump, but after the first lap they cut the track a bit shorter. So I mean, that changed things up quite a bit, but the track opened up quite nicely after the second lap, and that's where you could really get a nice groove. There were some nice lines forming, so yeah, it was good fun. You had to really choose your lines properly. You didn't want to go hit a rock too hard, otherwise you're going OTB. But no, really fun, really enjoyed the event, and looking forward to the next one.
Kobus, I know you're always chasing down those overalls, and this season you're in great form. Tell me about your day out here at FJ.
I don't think I could have gotten a worse start. I don't think I even pulled away for a while there. And then made passes early on and then took the wrong route at the chili and the ice cream. Caught up, and then from there on I just tried to keep it smooth.
Tell me about the track. I mean, obviously the guys had to just do all the tweaks to make sure that you guys could keep on racing, eh?
Yeah, no, in the first lap I think there was only one line to follow, and unfortunately I followed his line into the ice cream, and then we both lost some time, but the track was still nice even though they had to make it shorter.
Dev, always good to see you back on the podium. Tell me about your day.
Yeah, mate, this was a lucky event. Muddy one, I must say. I messed up at the start. I think I was like second last out, but luckily I caught up, and yeah, me and Kobus had a lack of dice whole lap, and unluckily I fell hard, and he stopped luckily by me and asked me if I'm alright. I said I'm good, go. I tried to catch up, but yeah, I couldn't get him, but I'm happy with the third place.
Stubby, another wild day at the office. Tell us about yours.
Yes, I think it was a bit moist out. I don't know if you can tell, but this kit was once white. I'm really glad they cut out that one chili, because that really finished me on the first lap. But other than that, after the first lap, I really started feeling my groove, and only after the last lap, I actually started cramping. So really good day out.
Good choice going for the thumper today?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just give us a breakdown of the bike. What have you been changing to get ready for this kind of riding?
So this is actually my GXCC setup. I'm running hard tires front and back, and I think it's called Rally Mousses. Everyone was saying, that's not the right setup for today, but I think it was the right setup.
Ben, since you got on these big wheels, man, there's something clicked. That was a fantastic race. Tell me how it went for you.
It was very nice. I fell in the mud, so my throttle got stuck. They got the rocks in there, but it was fine. I fell 3 times, but luckily I made that time up in the smooth sections, and I'm getting better at the rocky sections because it's very lacquer. And I want to climb more technical climbs, so I'm going to go practice that.
Good catch up with our pro riders. Here's confirmation of the results then in the S1 Pros. Matty Wilson backs up his round 2 win with another win at round number 3 ahead of Bester, Smitty, Peters, Van der Westhuizen, Battersby and Horlocker. S2 Pros, it's the Raymond Language Show at the moment, with Gav Young in second place here at round number 3 ahead of Opperman, Kotzer and Nordia doing a good fight back to a number 5 ride. And in S3 Pros, Stian van der Heever gets his big win going now at round number 3. It's going to be a tight championship though, but Stubby, second place, keeps him in the championship hunt. Here, beating out on Vanny Kirk, Van Skalkbeek and Vanderberg. So that was round number 3 of the FJ Championship. Remember, just a 5-round championship. And we're going to take a little beat before we go into round number 4. Leon and Rowan and the entire team have got something special for us. Talks of a brand new venue. Watch the press as news comes out. All this Farm Jam racing action is brought to you by Vans Racing in association with Pirelli and Motul, along with VW Mastercars Hatfield, ANCAT Engineering, Stack Ups, and V2 Designs. So that was Farm Jam round number 3 of their 5-round championship. 2 rounds to go and rumours of a brand new venue. As soon as Leon tells us all about that, I'll know about it. That means you'll know about it as well. And then we're going to go straight into edit for the GXCCs. That's going to be a banger. That'll be on next week, Monday's show. But this weekend, Hollywood is going to go down to KZN into the Midlands and take on the next round of the Iron Horse Enduros. I can't wait to tell you how I got on.